Buddy. My name is Austin. Welcome to another Friday night of sorting quarters. We have several rolls we're going to go through tonight. Some are from the 2020 era, some are from the past couple years, and then we have some that are a little bit newer. So, as promised, I'm going to review some of the American Woman quarters that have been popping up. They're still pretty much worth face value, but we are also going to pull anything that looks interesting. We're going to pull anything 1964 or older instantly because those are 90% silver, and silver value is going up. We haven't found any of those yet. I'm definitely looking for like a 1965 with a solid silver edge because they accidentally printed some or minted some 1965s, which are solid silver. So that's what we call like a transitional silver error. Anything with like a W mint mark, we're going to pull 2019 W or 2020 W, which is West Point. I'm going to keep those. We're also looking for like 2020 W with like a V75 privy, like World War II 75th anniversary. We're also going to be looking for 2004 Wisconsin. We're going to check the corn for the extra leaf or if it's high or low. Also, um, any S mint mark, like a collector strike or an edge for silver. Also, we have the magnifying glass. We can take a closer look at some quarters if we need to. Like if we have a 2005, we're going to look for an extra double tree die near the tree lines. Maybe like a 2005 Kansas. The dies were full of grease. It can actually make it a 2005, say, In God We Rust. But basically, like any major errors, for example, I got this book here, and we can actually see that this is an error. This is a penny. Obviously, we're going to be reviewing quarters, but we call this like a double die. So I can read a little bit more from that book in a little bit. So definitely double dies we're looking for. We're going to just in general, if we see any off center, missing clad, broad strikes, double strike, clips, um, but obviously damage that's not an error like scratches, dryer coins, we're sometimes it's a little hard to decipher. But anyways, we have these quarters that I got from like 2020, these ones from the past couple of years, and these ones are new. And let's get going now that I gave you a summary. And we're going to open our first batch. I'm going to start right off with my older quarters just because I'm curious. You know, I I hope some of the people that were here last Friday are here tonight. Drop a comment if you were here last Friday. That would be cool if we got some returning folks. So it's good to have everybody back. So our first pick of the night, New Hampshire 2000. That is going to be a Philadelphia mint mark. Kind of beat up. Nothing crazy. Another Philadelphia mint mark. Everybody loves the Falcon. Idaho 2007. Everyone loves a Georgia peach. 1999 is actually the year where the state quarters started. If we see a 1999, I would love to get a couple more Delawares. Last Friday, we got 2 Delawares in a row, and I barely have any Delawares. And those of you who are new, this is all sequential. So we have like 70s, 80s, 90s, 2010s, 20s. And keep in mind, there's a few special ones like the 1976 drummer reverse quarter has a drummer on the back, which is pretty unique. And then, did you know in 1975 they didn't even make a 1975 quarter, which I thought was pretty cool when I first learned that. Anyways, I'm going to sort these as we go. And as I fill them up, I'll share that process with you. We have a 1967 no mint mark. Um, this is the last year in a freeze. They actually didn't do any mint marks in 1966 and 1967. Basically, there was a coin shortage, and they just blasted a whole bunch of them without any mint marks. 1967. All right, so we get our first women's series of the night. We have uh, a Wilma Man Killer. It's an interesting last name, don't you think? 2022, and basically this series it ran through 20 excuse me 2022, 2023, 2024, and 2025, and there were 5 designs per year. So there was 20 uh, women quarters total. Basically, the font is Washington. The back is where the story is, and each reverse, we call this side the reverse. Each reverse honors a woman who changed American history, in their own different lane, whether that's space or music or law or sports or journalism, science, civil rights, um, and probably more. So let's review this one. This is a 2022. So this is the first woman principal chief of the Cherokee Nation. These are still worth face value, but you know it's kind of like a fine wine. It needs to age a little bit. Like the most recent quarter that, in my opinion, has more than face value besides an error is going to be like the 2020 back. Anyways, pretty cool. We're going to learn more as we go, as we get them. You guys are going to leave here knowing a little bit more about the women's series. So we have Denver, Oklahoma. So 2008. That is, this is the year where they closed out the 50 states series. Remember, they made 1999 through 2008, with Delaware being the first one in the additions, and Hawaii being the last. But this was just towards the last, but not the last, which is in Oklahoma. So we'll file that away. Next, we have just a standard quarter, and these are my favorite types of quarters. 1995 Denver Mint, 2005 95. Nice. We got a Guam 2019, which basically the first W quarters were released into circulation. So we are looking for a 2019 with a W mint mark, which is for West Point. 2019. So if I missed that, guys. So how's everybody doing tonight? What do you guys have for dinner? You guys from the West Coast? I'm out here on the West Coast. Where are you guys from? I read everything. I'll give you a shout out. Feel free to start a conversation here. 2012, Acadia. So 2012. It's basically just landscape series, Maine. 2012. We have 2020, National Park for Art, Denver. 2020, get that out of the way. So Anna Wong, there's nothing wrong with Anna Wong quarter, okay, guys? We have a 2022, again, just like the Wilma Man Killer. This I can't get over that name. Anyways, this is the first Chinese American Hollywood film star. So, she was an actress. Anna Wong. Those have W and V75 2020. Hey, what's up, Eli? You're 3 in a row. It's good to have you. Good to see you again, brother. Thanks for letting me know. That'd be so cool if we found one of those. So again, I did want to. For personal reasons, I want to learn about these newer quarters. But 2023 Denver. So let's go to this reverse side. 2023, this is going to be Maria Tallchief. And Maria Tallchief was an Osage ballerina and major American ballet figure. So she spotlights the design on the performing arts coin. And, YouTube is suggesting the TV show you can rewatch forever. So we'll get that out of the way. If you guys want to answer that, feel free. So for me, I would say Simpsons. And here we go. I started it. 2023. Next, what do we have here? Just getting a ton of these 2022s, huh? 2022, this is our first of the Maya Angelou. So 2022, that's a D for Denver. MASH. All right, so now let's learn something about this women's series 2022. Maya, where are you? She was a poet, writer, performer, civil rights voice, bird, and the rising sun design that say hope and movement. It's pretty cool. 2022. We have 1989. 1989. 19. 2009. 99. 89. File that away. 1990. I didn't get the reference MASH, Eli. What do you mean by MASH? I know it's probably going to be so obvious once you say it, but help me understand. 1990. Free standard. 2010, 2090. All right, now we have a 1995 Denver. 95 Denver. We're going to start whipping through these. Philadelphia, 2008. Arizona, close to the end of the series in 2008. 2008. Get that out of the way. Then we have, MASH. Oh, yeah, I remember seeing those previews when I was a kid. MASH. That was an old school one. Of course, yeah, comedy. Yeah, that's comedy. I didn't realize what you were talking about at first. MASH. You watch that over. Does that even still play? 2018. 2018. That's probably a landscape series. 1972 through 1983. Next, we have a 2014. Is that when it ran through? 72 through 83? That probably makes sense. So, do you think it's just a coincidence that The Simpsons predicted so much? I mean, or do you think that they're like doing spells and they're like possessed? What's up with that? Me, TV, regular. 2014. 2014. Oh, we need one more 2014 and then we have a whole roll. We got a Louisiana. The Louisiana Purchase. That was a good purchase, if you will. Look how much of the United States was purchased during that purchase. That's insane. D, Denver, 2002. 2002. All right. We need a few more quarters now. Yeah, those predictions do seem strangely prophetic. And the one that tripped me out the most is when they had the president going down the stairs with his wife. You know what I mean? It's almost like they set it up. I had to get that questionnaire out of the way. So what we have here is 2009 D. In 2009 is DC plus 5 territories, 6 designs. So I guess this is one of the U.S. territories. I'm not familiar with it. I should know that, but I don't. Has anyone here been to the Mariana Islands by chance? 2009. New York, 2001. Isn't it interesting that this came out in 2001? What big event happened in 2001? I bet Eli's going to say it first. 2001. 1967 standard. No mint marks in 1967. 9/11. That's right. It was wild. We all remember where we were on 9/11. Where were you guys on 9/11? I was in school at Altamira Middle School in Sonoma, and it happened. And she briefly turned on the TV to see what was going on. And then she realized that maybe it wasn't suitable for us. And she like turned it off. And she looked visibly shaken. And she like tried teaching. And then like they were like all the teachers, they were like, please hold. And the kid, they were like, take a like a recess or something, but in the classroom, you know what I mean? Take a break. And then all the teachers got together and we knew it was a big deal, you know? And that, you know, in seventh grade, you don't realize that war was real. And at that time, you're like, wow, you know, because you grow up with sunshine and rainbows, basically. And that was the moment where I realized that there is real evil in the world. Um, so yeah. Oh, your son was on the JFK Navy carrier. They rushed up to New York to stand by. Wow. Olympic 2011, Washington D. 2021, 2011. So what were you doing when it happened? 2006, Nebraska, Philadelphia mint mark. 2006, Nebraska, New Hampshire, 2000. That's a good one. Live free or die. That is, you know, I don't think they would print that now, would they? But in 2000, that was good here. Eli says Florida schools shield the children. I was a firefighter at Pensacola Navy Base. Right on. This one is P, Philadelphia, 2000. What's a wild fire that you saw? It's a wild fire story you can mention briefly. You can summarize it, make it wild. 2023. I do think fire is very interesting, though. You know how people the firefighters cut holes into the ceiling. Can you help explain why they do that? 2023, Philadelphia. We talked about this one. She was a, let's see here, 2022, Maria. Maria, where are you, Maria? Oh, yeah, she was a ballerina and basically just a famous ballerina. 2022. Here we go. New Jersey, 1999. One of the first ones that they released when they started the state series. And that's a, let's see, Denver Mint, 1999. 99. So here, 89, 99. You had pretty good fire prevention. Yeah, that's really good. It's kind of like injuries, you know. You don't get injuries that much if you do a lot of what we call prehab instead of rehab. It's called prevention. That's key. We have Theodore, Alvin, Simon, Theodore. Let's see if we can get a good A good shot of his mustache, huh? That one's a little dirty. There we go. Nice. There he is. He's a good president. And I could be mistaken, but I believe that this man was responsible for putting most of the national parks here in America. 2016. But he was also responsible for creating something called the Salton Sea here in Southern California. He demanded that the water be shut off to the Salton Sea, which was like a makeshift land in the desert near Death Valley. And basically, a huge mass of water became stagnant because he rediverted it. And it was, his responsibility, or he made the call. 1999, Pennsylvania. 2017, Denver. I'm going to whip through some of these. 2012, Denver. 12, Denver. 15, 14, 13, 12. This one, what the heck happened to that? This looks like it was at the bottom of a pool or something, or a lake. Someone found it. What do you think happened to this one? Yeah, it was sitting with this side up. Interesting. Not even. That's going back to the bank, guys. I don't I don't keep those ones here. And what we have here is a Denver. We have 2018. Almost through our first roll. 2017, Iowa. And at first I thought that these were just worn, but those are actually the way that they stamped them. It's not a misprint. It's not grease. That's exactly what they wanted it to look like because they're honoring mounds, right? That's exactly what it looks like. Mounds that look like animals, essentially. 2017. 1980, Denver. 1980, Denver. 2020, 2010, 2000, 90, 80. 1985, D. 85, D. 95, 85. 2000, D. I'm looking for the elusive 2010 because you can't read it in any book or anything, but it's hard to find any 2010s. I could tell that this one's going to be popular. Like if I was a kid or something, I think that this one would probably be one of my favorites. So 2002. All right, so we're going to open up a new roll here. In case you're wondering, I got the Harley Davidson ring on. Got this in 2020 from the Harley Davidson shop. Actually, it was good that I bought it because they said if you bought something for, I think it was like over $50, and this was like $96 or something. I know. It's that's probably has that much silver in it today, but back then it was overpaying a little bit. But it does say Harley Davidson. But my favorite part is it has writing on the side. It's a little banged up because I would open beer bottles by putting my finger on there, and I had a little magic trick where I put the bottle there, pop, it opened just like that. It was tripping people out. But anyways, a hammered coin. Let's see here. Oh, you said we had a good fire prevention, not many fires at the home of the Blue Angels. Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm out here in San Diego. So the Blue Angels have been out here before. Oh, yeah, hammered. I don't know. No, this isn't a hammered coin. It just says Harley Davidson on it. And then it says Harley Davidson on the edges, on both sides, by the way. So we have a 2004 Texas Denver Mint. So the Wisconsin D extra leaf is a very big variety, but this is just cool because it's Texas. All right, 2004. Where's my 2004? There it is. So we have our 2023. Ooh, this is our first Edith, Edith Kanakaoli. So 2023D. Since our first one of the night, we're going to talk about the significance of this coin because I'm also teaching myself and I have a little cheat sheet here. So 2023 Edith Kanaka Ole, native Hawaiian chanter. She was a dancer. She was a composer. She was a teacher. Designs blends lay, hair, and landscape. There it is. So they were honoring a Hawaiian dancer, composer, and teacher, 2023. Ooh, this one's cool. 2003, Arkansas, with the mallard duck and the diamond. Wonder why they put the diamond in there for Arkansas. Any guesses, guys? 2003. We have a 1990. 1990 Denver. 1990 Denver. 2020, 2000, 2010, 2090. Okay. We have 2011. And this 2011 is basically an ATB Parks sites continue nationwide. It's kind of cool. You got that Burley Mountain Goat. It says Montana. Yeah, so it has to be a Montana Mountain Goat. Mint in Denver, 2011. We have the Arches, 2014. This one's a little beat up. Denver, 2014. Oh, and there we have it. We have our first full roll of the night. So we got to go ahead and finish that. So we have our 2014s in a roll. So we are going to cap that off. There we have it. It's not twisting on there for some reason. Is it broken or something? You know, what's funny is it doesn't seem to have enough of a lip to bite on there. Anyways, what's it matter, right, guys? File this away, and we are going to label a new 14. I'm using a purple one tonight because the black Sharpie is MIA, and that's okay. We don't like you anyway. The black Sharpie is MIA, but that's okay because we don't like you anyway. Sounds like an old high school chant. No, I was never a cheerleader, guys, but thanks for... Were there actually diamonds found there, Eli, in Arkansas? Because I was wondering why there is diamonds on the Arkansas. Oh, there was. Okay. Interesting. I didn't know there were diamonds found in Arkansas. I thought we got all of our diamonds from, like, I don't know. I always think of the movie Blood Diamond when I was younger. Remember that movie? People still find them, huh? It's pretty cool. All right, here we go. This one came from the bank, so I know we're going to get a completely different variety of coins. I tried to pick some roles that were totally separate from like a personal collection, from the bank, from different era. So today we got 2013 Ohio D and the 2013 Ohio. The Mount Rushmore is the most sought after in this particular year. That's kind of cool. 2013, and then we need a couple more to finish out the 2013s. We have a 2016, Philadelphia. 2016, Philadelphia. Okay. We have a 1989, Denver. 89, Denver. 86, 87, 88, 89. Nothing special. That special, at least. I mean, they're all special, don't get me wrong. It's 2007. Something I do want to talk about tonight is work ethic and people wanting to learn things. 2007, D for Denver. And you're like, Austin, what do you mean work ethic and wanting to learn things? Well, I have a lot of people asking me to teach them construction trades. And people are always asking me, where did you learn? 2016, P. And the truth is, I used to say, I grew up without a dad and I learned from a whole bunch of different people. But I think really what it comes down to is learning from yourself, because someone can lay it all out for you. But if you're not receptive to it, then you're not going to learn it, you know, and you're not going to just see it once and learn it. You have to want to learn it, and you have to go back yourself and have to really grind to learn it. So my point is 1990. My point is if you want to learn something, you can't, of course, you can go looking for someone who knows it and you get a little head start. But that person who's going to teach you isn't really going to want to teach you if you don't know anything. So I'm more likely to teach someone the skills that I learned in construction, whether that be one of the trades, drywall, stucco, electrical, plumbing. If the person comes in and shows me that they're progressing each day and they're pointing out weird facts, they're pointing out the difference in copper pipes, they're learning the contents of what's in solder and the new tools they use to basically PEX or, basically anything that is specific to whatever they're trying to learn. 2000 D. And one thing that's frustrating for me personally is people are always like, how did you learn? And I'm like, I just wanted to learn. So I went to the places that I could pick up little tips and tricks, whether that be book or a YouTube or my job. But if you just rely on learning during your job, you're going to fall behind. 1998 P. Why is this one so weird color? It's like this one was painted, huh? Yeah, I do enjoy what I learned. I mostly enjoy watching people be impressed by doing something that has become easy for me, and then not so easy for them if they don't have the tools or the know-how. 1973 D for Denver, but it kind of gets frustrating when people want to learn and they expect somebody else to teach them. It's like, if you want to learn something, you need to go out of your way and limit distractions in your life and really focus on that. I'm guilty of it too, getting distracted maybe on Instagram or Facebook. That's why I deleted all of it, is because I wanted to learn AI. and that's what I've been doing with my spare time. 1999, 1999, 1997, 96, 97. Because there's I get these phone calls and people are like, "Oh, where did you learn? Oh, can you teach me?" I'm like, I can teach you like a couple things, but it'll take you years to learn, and you're going to have to really pay attention. And most of what you're going to learn by yourself, and you got to take notes, and you got to focus. Anyways, this one's in really good condition. 2024. So 2024, part of the women's series. This is Dr. Mary Edwards Walker, and she was a Civil War surgeon and the only woman awarded the Medal of Honor. So this is the strongest backstory coin. So this is going to be my favorite women's edition coin right here. This woman was given the Medal of Honor. That is insane. In the Civil War, this woman is probably what's the words I want to use? I don't know. I want to say she has balls, but she's obviously a woman. But you guys know what I mean. A very brave woman, very smart, saved a lot of men's lives during the Civil War. Pretty cool. I can see why she made it on a quarter. Good for her. 2024. Yeah, Ryan Volker, Ryan Volkmer 6885, 1964 or prior. Yeah, exactly. 1964 or older is 90% silver. But hey Ryan, did you know in 1965 there's a couple transitional silver errors, and those are worth big money. So we look at the edge, and if we don't see any of that copper, we pull it. And if that was a 1965 and it feels a little heavy, whoo-wee. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. I had to look it up. But yeah, they do exist. I've never seen one out in the wild. But so, anyways, this is a new one that we got for the Women's Series 2024. And you said, Eli says Florence Nightingale. Yep. 2024. This is going to be, let's see here, Dr. Polly Murray. And Polly Murray, she was a lawyer, she was a poet, priest, she was a civil rights and women's rights leader. This obviously has a big visual hook with the word hope, right? Still going to be face value. But I do believe the other one that we reviewed, the only woman to win the Medal of Honor, I believe that one will probably value the fastest. Not to hate on that, not to steal, Polly Murray's clout or anything. 2014, Denver. The planchet got in the clad area. Which one are you talking about? The one I just put away? I might have to pull that one. Let me know which one you were talking about. And be a little bit more specific on what you say I should look for in case I missed it. Oh, I see. The silver 65. Got it. Yeah. 2014, Denver. 2014, 15, 14. Again, if we're reviewing these and you see any that say "In God We Rust," let's point those out too. 1997, Denver. 97, Denver. 2006, Nevada. Denver. 2006. Ooh, this one's a little beat up, huh? This one's sitting in a pond, Colorado, with the Flatirons. I lived in Boulder for a couple of years. I used to hike to the top of those. Got some cool pictures. But yeah, the Flatirons are beautiful in Boulder, Colorado. Do you know Boulder, Colorado is voted the happiest place in America 12 out of the last 26 years? Pretty cool. 2006. I'm going to keep it. If it was that beat up, I might just send it back to the bank. But 2022, oh, we're getting all the women's series today, aren't we? So this is a 2022. So we go to 2022, and we are Nina Otero Warren. So she was a New Mexico suffrage leader and educator. Voto para la mujer means votes for women. 2022. That's getting a little political for me. 2025, D. Oh, here we go. Dr. Vera Rubin, 2025. This is the newest coin of the night. And Dr. Vera Rubin, she was an astronomer whose galaxy work helped prove dark matter. The coin includes dark matter and galaxy. That's why it says dark matter, United States of America. Guitar golf. What you laughing at? What's so funny? What'd I say? Don't get me in trouble, please. I've already been demonetized off of one channel. So I learned my lesson, guys. This isn't Rumble. This isn't X. All right. D. 2002. Tennessee. Yeah, I know you're kidding. All right. 2002. Tennessee. We'll just let that one go. 12. There's 2. There we go. Another Guam. War in the Pacific. 2019. That's a cool quarter, huh? Philadelphia. 2019. Look at these edges real quick because we missed that before. You know what? That's a good question. Guitar Golf 9 is I have not, during the streams, I have not found one in the wild, correct, or on the streams. Yeah, you know what? I have found one, but it wasn't. It was actually when I was traveling. So, 2021 final ATB plus crossing Delaware 1 year reverse. That's not this one. 2021. That'd be cool if we can find a W tonight. We are looking for any W mint mark, like a 2019 W or a 2020 W, which is West Point. 1999 Connecticut, which I have more of these. You found an uncladded 2020 P dime the other day. That's cool. It's trippy. Looks like chocolate. Wow. That'd be pretty cool to see, actually. 2009, 1999. 1994, Denver. See if I'm going to take my eyes off the camera for a second here and see if I can whip through some of these. So 2021, Denver. 2021, Denver. So this is the Delaware Crossing reverse. These are actually my favorite regular mint 2021s. 2001, Freedom and Unity, Vermont. In God we trust, not in God we rust. 2001. We are looking for a 2010 as well. It's not something that seems rare, but for me here in Southern California, it's been hard to find 2010s for some reason. 1970, so 66, 67, 68, 69, 70. Okay, next we have Missouri, 2003. You know what? I haven't seen many of these. This is actually my favorite find of the night. So, what do you do? Go back and look through errors? Yeah, essentially, what I have here, Guitar Golf, is I have everything completely sorted. So that helps me get my bearings straight. And then I have like a big old cheat sheet of the most common errors. And they'll be like, hey, this one's worth big money. I'll grab, for example, my whatever this is. This is 1982. And then I have my stack of 1982s and I can quickly whip through them, find the error. If there is an error, set it aside. And then, you know, but it's fun. It's fun to actually sort them too. And I was even thinking, once they're completely sorted, just having an assortment might increase the value to a collector, right? If you have, five rolls of 2022, for example, that equals a face value of $50, right? But maybe I could sell them for $60 just because they're organized and people understand that takes time. So again, we have this 2003 Missouri, 2003 Missouri, and they might even think that 543 in the collecting community is kind of weird. You're not going to find everything, and so if you don't find it, you think your ones that you're giving back to the bank are clean or that you're selling are clean, and then someone will find a big error in it. Sometimes they pass through a ton of different hands. Again, this was a dancer. She was a chanter. 2023 Denver. Edith something. 2023. All right. 2001 Kentucky. 2001 Kentucky. It's amazing looking. I'm sure it is. So what do you do for the errors? Oh yes. Thanks for saying smart. Yeah, I mean it's just fun. Look through the quarters. I've been watching a lot of collector channels, and these guys are, older, and this is how they got started. You just start learning the different quarters, you start organizing them, and as your means become better, you actually start to get more luck too because you stay organized. And I do believe it's an investment as well. 2021, 2004, Iowa D, 2004, Iowa D. This is a landscape. 2014, Virginia D. How cool would it be if we found a W? No, I don't really. I've just been sorting quarters and dimes the past few years. I've just been collecting a lot of I've been collecting all the change and sorting everything to be honest with you. I've just been on this big sorting hype and then kind of pulling anything that looks cool and that's super old. Um, I've been asking banks for 50-cent pieces and getting a lot of silver that way. I've gone before the silver craze, I was getting 50-cent pieces and getting a lot of silver from banks, believe it or not. I would just ask them for 50-cent pieces and pull the silver. And I got quite a bit of silver. And this is a pretty good condition, huh? And hey, Guitar Golf 9, can you educate us on what proofs are, please? 2009, just so that I don't hack it out. 2000, because I'm learning from you guys as well. 2020, 2000, so Virginia. Oh, that one's gone. See you later, alligator. 1996, standard. These are becoming less and less common. Put that in a separate holder. Oh, you're talking about the one I just put away? The one that looked nice? Yeah, you're probably right. I should have a separate holder just for extra mint quarters, huh? Ones that look like they don't have one single scratch on them, huh? I was sorting through pennies and I found a 1972 mint penny, believe it or not. I thought that was kind of cool. And then Guitar Golf 9 says, What a proof is, it's just a different strike, non-business with mostly silver content, but can be clad also and introduced in smaller sets. Yeah, broken from set, says Eli. 1996, 2021 D for Denver, crossing of the Delaware. This is a good one, but I prefer the 1999 Delaware quarter. The first quarter in the 99 series was the Delaware. And maybe I can show you some of those right now. 99. So here's the 99s. I'm not sure if I have any of the Delaware in here, but we have the Peach in 99. We have a Pennsylvania in 99. We have a New Jersey in 99. There's another Peach. There's a New Jersey and a Connecticut. So in this batch, because I did get a whole roll last time we streamed, I wasn't able to. I got a couple, like 3 Delawares, I think. But in this stream cycle, I haven't got any Delawares yet. So 2023 D, we already reviewed that. If anyone wants me to review that again, I can. 2000 Virginia, 2000 Virginia, 2000, 2010, right here. That's in decent condition. Idaho Falcon D, another fine condition. The new quarters that are in fine condition, they're going to get stored away. But I'm looking for something that's like pre-2000, that's in like mint condition. 2007, because that just means I have a head start on it. Let's pull out the Great Basin. Great Basin to start with, since we already had that one. Looks like a bonsai tree, right? We see any animals in there? What is that? A cat or a squirrel or something, huh? I wonder if they hid anything in here. Like a bird or something. Like they hid a spider on the $1 bill. You guys know what I'm talking about? Anyways. The Torrey Pines logo. Oh yeah. Are you from San Diego? 2013. Oh, we need one more 2013 before we get a whole roll. 2004. Florida. D. 2002. Indiana. D. 2002. D. Vermont. 2001. Okay, this is our first Zitkala Za of the night. I haven't seen too many of these. So this is a 2024. And she was a writer, composer, educator, native rights activist, Redbird Cardinal connection is a good detail. Okay. So that last thing I'm reading right here, Redbird Cardinal connection is a good detail. Redbird Cardinal connection. I'm not sure what that cheat sheet means, but 2024. Oh, you lived in NorCal? Where in NorCal? I grew up in Sonoma County, and then I was in East Bay, and then I did the whole San Francisco thing to go make money. But honestly, I hate the city. I mean, I put up with it sometimes, but it drives me crazy. Oh, Vallejo. D. Renner. I worked at the garden center in Novato. And yes, there were Vatos, and Novatos. So, all right. So, 2020, we're looking for the BAT 2020s. Philadelphia, New York. Always got to love these ones. 2001. 2023, Denver. Valeo's been getting a lot better, huh? That's where Six Flags Six Flags Park is, right? When I was a kid, that used to be Marine World. Eleanor Roosevelt. Eleanor Roosevelt, 2023. So let's see here. This is obviously, she was the first lady. She was considered a diplomat, human rights leader, and she scales over the globe to point to justice worldwide. Human rights. That's what we're honoring. 2023. This one's kind of beat up. 1965. Kind of cool. This is the oldest quarter of the night. 1965. Yeah, I went to Six Flags. You know, I hurt my neck at Six Flags on one of those roller coasters. We were going down, and I was looking down at my feet, and then the roller coaster went up, and the G forces sucked my neck down. And as it was pulling up, I was trying to lift up my head, but the G forces were so hard, it like popped my neck as I was looking down, and I was trying to pull my neck up at the same time. But it was like the transition from when you go down at the bottom of a dip to the up, and it popped my neck, and I was like, oh, and I never got rid of it ever again. My neck, I could still hear that pop that happened. I remember not telling anybody, but my neck was sore for like years after that. 2013, D for Denver. Oh, there we have it. There we go. Got a whole roll of 2013s. Yeah, it's exactly what it was. Just whiplash, like a severe whiplash. But I was like, I had to have been this age when I was there, you know? I'm not supposed to be able to get whiplash at age 13. You're supposed to be a young whippersnapper and bounce back. All right. All right, let's write our 13 on here. We're going with a purple Sharpie. Please don't judge me. Black Sharpie is MIA, but that's okay because we don't like you anyway. All right. So we're going to go ahead and grab another little stack here. Fill up my hands. And here we go. Here we go. 1973. 1973. This is the last normal date before the bicentennial set up. 1973, no mint mark. Oh, there is a mint mark. What does that look like? It looks like a worn out P, huh? Maybe not. No mint mark. Is that? I don't know. Looks like there might have been something, huh? It's almost like that little spot there. It's like it was there and now it's not. I don't really know. 1973, 75, 74, 73. 1967. Oh, we're getting some old ones. 1967. Salt River Bay, 2020. On the quarter proofs, you can tell if the spaces between the E and the S in the leaf touching at the bottom. Okay. So keep your eye out, Guitar Golf, since you're used to looking at them. And then tell me to stop. Spam me if you see one. D, Denver. Okay. Seems like we're getting all the women's series tonight. Actually, this isn't even a women's series, technically. This is the year the first W quarters were released in circulation. D for Denver. 2020. 2020. 2014. I don't remember seeing many of these. This is the year the Arches and the Everglades showed up on the quarters, but the Great Sand Dunes, I don't recall getting many of these. This is a kind of cool quarter. Maybe I've just been overlooking them. 2014. Bessie Coleman, 2023. It seems like we're going to get every women's series one. We've probably gotten 10 out of the 20 tonight. 2023, Bessie Coleman. She was the first African American woman pilot. Her pilot license date was June 15th, 1921, and that appears on the coin. So that number is when she got her pilot license. That's pretty cool. 2023. Remember, we're looking for that elusive W. (1989) Denver. 1989 Denver. 86, 87, 88, 89. 1998 Philadelphia Mint Mark. No double stamping. Nothing weird. Nothing weird that I see. How about you guys? 98, 96, 97, 98. Oregon. You know, I've always wanted to go to Crater Lake. It's been on my bucket list. I have not been, but I think maybe I should make the road trip up there. Say what's up to mama. Hang out with the girl. Has anyone here been to Crater Lake? Seems like it'd be a pretty cool place to like camp. Maybe rent like a Sprinter van and go out there. What do you think, guys? 2005. I'm going to need one more 2005. 1996. 1996. Ozark Riverways Landscape. 2017. That is going to be the year Ellis Island and Frederick Douglass year. 2017. We got one more roll after this, guys. D for Denver. 2006. North Dakota. 2006. 2014. Arches. 2014. Arches. My favorite words on the quarter: live free or die. Right? It reminds me of the saying, live sore or die weak. 2000. New Hampshire. 1788. D. 2000. And me, I'm just repeating it to myself just so that I can remember. You know, sometimes I repeat myself. It's just like a personal thing to help me remember. 2000, Virginia. 1788. 2000, Virginia. I know, call me crazy. 1977, D. I like these older ones. 1977. 76, 77. D. 2020. Land stewardship. I couldn't really find much on here, but remember, these came and have the V75 privy mark. This does not, and it's not a W. Oh, they have a spitting girl, huh? Probably an air, like she's drooling. She's extra special or what? 2018. Pictured rocks. All right, I'll keep my eye open for a 2018 drooling girl or spitting girl. Let's see here. We have a voto para la mejor. Nina Otera Warren, Women's Voting Rights, 2022. We need one more 2022 before we have a full roll. So we got two almost full rolls. That's the 2022 and 2005, I think. So this has to be one of my favorite ones. So I have actually climbed to the top of Yosemite and sat with my legs hanging off that tip right there. It is absolutely terrifying. Also, it's the back side that you climb up. It's not this side, but you climb up that little portion on the back side. But climbing up the face of that wall, they just basically it's just a flat smooth rock and you hold on to the railings. And I was so crazy when I was doing it. I was 25. I just went outside the railings and basically just like spider crawled up the wall, and people are yelling at me, but there's nothing they can do. You know what I mean? You're on your own out there. If you want to do something stupid and dangerous, there's no one that's going to stop you, not even the park rangers. They're down at the very bottom. They're not down at the bottom. They actually, before those chains, they actually check that you have a pass. And I went without a pass, which, I've told the story and people are like, oh, you're crazy. And no one ever goes because they say that the waiting list is like a year. Well, here's a hack, guys. If you ever want to go hike Yosemite and you're by yourself, one thing I've learned in life is you don't need to wait for permission. You just go and do it, and people will help you figure it out along the way, even if you have to stop for a little bit. So that's what I did. I went, I paid the national park to get in there. I, you know, I camped at the bottom. Sunrise came up. I hiked around the back end. I made it on top of that second rock. And then they have the park ranger looking for the passes before you can make it to the top. And he's like, do you have a pass? And I was like, no. He's like, what are you doing up here? I was like, I was hoping that you'd let me in anyways. He's like, I like how honest you are. And so he's like, I'll tell you what, groups come up all the time and they're missing somebody. I'll put you in with one of the other groups. And so I waited literally like 15, 25 minutes tops, and he let me in. Anyways, California, 2005. We have John Muir. He's a legend here in California. And then we have the bird, which is, I don't know, that looks like, I don't know what kind of bird that is. 2005. 2005. 2006. Oh, there we have it. Great way to finish it off here. We have a full roll of 2005s. So since we have a full roll of 2005s, we are going to look through this top segment and see if we have any in God We Rust instead of God We Trust. I already checked these bottom half last stream, and I think we wouldn't have missed it, but it's most common in the 2005s where it says, in God we rust. So we are going to whip through these and see if it says, in God we rust. You should all be 2005s. All right, so in God we rust. I'm not flipping them over. I've already seen all these. In God we trust, 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 trust. Again, we're looking for in God we rust. I don't have any in God we rust. That would be cool if we found one. And then a California we just found. How cool would it be if we had our California in God we rust? In COD. Yeah. In Lincod. 2005. There we go. Yeah. All right, there we go. Let's zoom out. Let's cap it up. Let's pop a cap. And there we go. We got our full stack of 2005. I think this is our first full stack of 2005s. And we're going to get a new one here. And we're going to open up our fresh roll here. Actually, what am I doing? Let me focus here. All right. Our 2005s. Put those on upside down. Put this away. Put that down. All right, guys. We got our last roll of the night. Before we call it. Let's open this guy up. See what we can do. If you guys are watching, a small channel, just trying to start it, hit me a like just to, tell me you guys like this kind of stuff. I don't mind doing more in the future. Last time we were here, a lot of people joined, which was kind of cool. I wasn't expecting it. I do it more for me than anything, but it is kind of cool when you guys engage. So if you guys liked anything or learned anything, if you want to, throw a bone my way, that might be through the form of a like. That'd be cool. 2000 South Carolina. 2000 South Carolina, Philadelphia. United States of America, crossing the Delaware, 2021. Bessie Coleman. Again, I learned tonight that that's the year she got her pilot license. So that's pretty cool. 2023. 1972. This one's actually in pretty good condition. Look at this 1972. This is the best condition, oldest coin of the night. So that's kind of cool. 1972, 75, 74, 73, 72. Do you guys know that they didn't make any 1975 quarters? 2021. 2021, 2022s, and 2023s are filling up. 2022s. That's it. We got a full roll of the 2022s. So let's go ahead and take care of this. Oh, that's a 19 cap. Not sure why that cap is with that. So we're going to borrow one of these ones here. Relabel this one. But all the quarters were 2022, so it's just the cap that was wrong. Stash that away. Again, I'm using purple. The black is MIA, but that's okay because we don't like you anyway. Okay. So we're going to write it twice. Since our first one was missing, stay organized, stay on top of the labeling so we know where we're at. 2022. Okay, pick up my new set of quarters. Hands are coming back in frame here. 3, 2, and 1. Zoom back in. All right, what we have here is a 2022 Denver Women's Right Edition. The women who advocated for women voting. We have Bessie Coleman, the year she got her pilot license, 2023. Stacking those up. 1984, Philadelphia. 1984. Purple Good Man. My pops played football for LSU, so I'm a natural born Tigers fan. Uh-oh. Not gonna lie, I was raised going to Niners games. I was more of a Joe Montana baby, if you know what I'm saying. 2024. 2018. 1998, Denver. D, Denver, first flight, 2001. You don't see many of these. This one's a cool coin. This is the first one we've got in weeks. I've probably gone through 15 rolls and haven't seen one of these in a long time. So this is a good find. I would say that I'm going to go as far as saying that this is the find of the night, to be honest with you. 2001. Unless I'm tripping and we got one in the past, but I don't recall that we did. Nebraska, 2006. And I probably should have stayed on it a little longer, but it's not that common. I just think it was uncommon for me during this series, if you know what I'm saying. So 2023, Bessie Coleman, here she got her pilot license. We're filling up on 2023's. 2022, Wilma Mankiller. I just can't get over that last name. Again, Wilma Mankiller. She was the first woman principal chief of the Cherokee Nation. All right, keep that in mind, guys. She was principal chief, and she has a last name Mankiller. And I don't know if you guys know, but Native Americans got their last name, from what they did. So put two and two together. And now she's on the back of a coin. Maybe she didn't, but maybe her ancestors did. I don't know. Maybe I'm jumping to conclusions. You let me know. 2022. It's just, I don't know if I would want to be left alone in the same room as her ancestors, that's for sure. 2005. It's just me being facetious. Congratulations to her. That's maybe how she got her job. 2005. 2005. Maybe. 1982. D for Denver. 1982. 85, 84, 83, 82. Ohio. 2002. So this one, the state series kept rotating new designs. So a whole bunch of designs in 2002. Denver, 2014. $1974. Denver. 75, 74. So there's no 75. Keep that in mind, guys. Denver. Washington. First Washington of the night. 2007. That was a good year. That was the year I graduated high school. 2007. 2006. 2007. Oh, this one's wonky, huh? This one's been through some stuff, huh? That is not going in the collection. That's going back to the bank. Oh, got another one, MIA. Some coins with the red paint on some. What does that mean? The red paint on some. You know, I don't know if it's like, if it's not an error or it's not silver. I honestly don't know what the red could mean. It probably means something. You know what? I have heard of the red coins meaning something. I think that. Does anyone know what the red means on a quarter? Pinballs. Oh, washer. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So they would paint the coins red for some reason to signify something. I don't know. Many reasons. 1991 D. 91 D. So this one's cool, huh? It looks pretty blank. And it says, let's take a look at the year and we're going to talk about it because I don't think we got this one yet. So 2003. And let's look for the name. So it's Jovita Idar. Okay. And my cheat sheet says she was a journalist, she was a teacher, she was a nurse, and she was also a Mexican American rights advocate. Right. So she was probably big on open borders. Right. And words fill the figure like a newspaper. So Mexican rights advocate, and it says Mexican American. Does it say? I don't even know what else it says. Some stuff in Spanish. I know that's a Latin term above the United States that we say on other quarters. Oh yeah, it says she was a journalista and feminine Mexicana. So it says some stuff in Spanish. Pretty cool looking quarter. I'm not gonna lie. Right here in San Diego, there's a lot of Mexican rights advocates, and I'm in construction, and a lot of my friends are Mexican. Great culture. 2023. 2015. 2000 South Carolina. Some of these coins are ridiculous. Let's see here. Um, Wanda Parker says, like drops of paint will not come off, not the whole coin. Are you talking about the red paint? Interesting. And then both my college roommates are Hispanic. We had some fun. Yeah, man. I very hard workers. Um, you know, very family orientated. Have some of the best parties. The best parties I've been to have been Hispanic parties. Um, we made the playoffs in a fast pitch league, which is pro rules. We take baseball very seriously. I'm 37 and I'm fit, and I play baseball competitively, and I consider myself one of the best players growing up on all my teams. Well, some of these Hispanic guys on my team are better than me, and they are absolutely amazing athletes as well. 1984D. 1984D. But just like anyone, there's mixed emotions, bad apples in every sector of life. 1987. This one's beat up, huh? British surrender. This is our first one of the night, 2015. That's a cool coin, huh? New York, Saratoga, in God we trust. A little beat up. You won the Little League title in Louisiana. That's pretty cool. But did you make it to the Little League World Series? I grew up in Sonoma. The Petaluma Little League team was always really good. It's because like the only thing to do in Petaluma is go to the batting cages. That's like the number one thing to do. It's just like farm and batting cages. That's probably why the kids got so good. This one's messed up. I'm not going to keep that one. This one's in good condition, huh? 1986. Front's a little more beat up. No, but I won't play off game. 1. 1988. The year I was born. It's a good year, right? I'm going to keep that. 85, 86, 87, 88. We have a chanter, dancer, Hawaiian woman, 2023. And there we go. We have another full roll, 2023. Women's edition. Not bad, not bad. I don't know if I have any 2023s yet. Oh, yeah, I do have one 2023 right over there. So go ahead and put it over here. 2023. I'm getting a lot of the 2020. I guess that makes sense. The newer the quarter, the more that we're going to have, right? So that makes sense. All right, so let's go ahead and mark that down. Driving through all them cornfields was wild, bro. I've always wanted to do that. 2023. But I know if I was the farmer who owned those cornfields, I'd be pissed. Now corn's pretty cheap and it's durable too. 2023. I always wondered how much of a hit those farmers took when people did the crop fields. You know, those like alien things. Well, they blamed on aliens, but they weren't actually aliens. Or if like a car were to drive through, you know how pissed off they would get. You never really hear about the pissed off farmer, do you? But yeah, I can imagine you can't see where you're going. You know what I mean? Next thing you know, you're like lost, or you hit like some like bump in there, or you just are stuck. And you're like you gotta like get out of the car and stand up on top of the car and figure out where you're going. All right, so we have a 2009 Guam. 2009 Guam. I have a friend in the Air Force, and she went over to Guam, and they had to practice fixing tarmac quickly and quietly in the dark. And they had to set up these tents or these like makeshift camouflage tents next to the tarmac, and they had to learn how to hook up AC systems to these structures that were camouflaged. But I thought that was pretty cool. Apparently Guam's kind of hot. So anyway, training drill in Guam for the Air Force that I learned about from a friend. It's like, what'd you do? Oh, just fixing tarmac in the middle of the night and installing AC systems on temporary structures that are camouflaged. No big deal. And, and they'd get to go around Guam with their weapons and like fire at random stuff too. And they were like, if you kill each other, like you're going to be dishonorably discharged, but you can still shoot at stuff. 1994. 1974. Denver. This one's pretty beat up. 2012. Later, dude. This is the last one. 2020. And that's it. So that's it. We did not find any of these. Some double stamps. But we're going to finish off talking about a little bit of history that I thought was interesting. So these U.S. Mint were already had expressed itself that it was genuine and was struck at Philadelphia Mint. Needless to the state, when the imperfect emissions were revealed on inspection, those appearing in the assembly were rejected and the defective die immediately removed. Coinage dies are prepared by forcing under pressure a hardened steel hub positive into a softened steel blank. 3 blows or pressures are required. If the hub is not accurately registered in the die after the first blow, the doubled impression will result in in the same manner. The manual but erratic striking of a metal punch will produce blurred or double impressions or images on the material to which is being transferred. It was from such an obverse 1 cent die that this coin was struck. Right? So it goes on to explain, these errors. And this book is pretty cool. I've been reading it a lot lately. And this book is called Money Talks. Right? It's an old school book, but I've been reading it. Anyways, I hope everyone has a blessed day. Thanks for joining in. I'd like to do this every Friday if you guys want to watch late night. Again, thanks for joining in. If you learned anything, hit that like And God bless you all. Take care.